skydiving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello and welcome to Raw Recovery, a Trudging Together podcast. You are listening to the 12 Steps of Recovery series, which can be used year-round if you want to. We are on step 8 today. I just got to do a little bit more sharing here. This one's not as long, but I don't know if you've noticed so far of the fact that there's a prep stage. So 1, 2, and 3, you're prepping for 4 and 5. 6 is to prep 7. 8 is to prep 9. Right? And this is what I would call preparation stage, right? And what we're doing is we're just kind of taking a deeper look into why are we making these amends? And why are people on this list of amends, right? So we're going to cover that today. Now, the key here is this, that if you did your 4-step, if you're sponsoring, don't let people know, don't let your sponsees know this right away. Maybe let them know a little bit later. But that grudge list that you made is your 8-step list. You don't have to rewrite it again. Okay? Those are the people that you owe amends to. Why? Because it takes 2 to tango. Not all of them are making it to the amends list, but yeah, a lot of them will. So go ahead and keep that list. My hair is so out of control. But yeah. So I forget this one's a little different here. So we're going to go ahead and get to step 8 here. And I'll probably do step 9 today also, because otherwise it's not going to be 12 days. It's going to be like 17. I'm making a number up, but it'll be more than 12. I know that. So let me get some talking juice going here. All right. But good morning, everybody. Denny and my any of the people joining the live itself, welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'll be your host today. This time, every time, all the time, I'm a host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching live or the rewatch. Chat is on for anybody that would like to join in the Persephone. I don't know. I think that's actually somebody's name. Persephone. Yeah, that's a name, not a word. All right. Good morning, Clara. It is good to see you. And it's almost like we're seeing each other all the time and stuff, huh? Several of us. That was a great meeting last night. That goes for any of my listeners too. If you want to join our grassroots meeting, it is an invite only, so I'm inviting you. Just reach out to me. You're like, Dion, how the fuck do I get a hold of you? Dion Miller at Live. There you go. DionMiller@live.com. Real easy. I've had that email for years. It is my name, DionMiller @Live. One of my favorite bands, live.com. Let's get started. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing. There's that willing word again. To make amends to them all. All right. I'm also on this one going to pull out the principle. The principle behind step 8 is brotherly love. Brotherly love. Now we can do this now because in 4 and 5, forgiveness happened. We were forgiven. We forgave ourselves. And that is the key. Forgiving ourselves and having forgiveness for ourselves is the only way we can do this. Okay? Because as God's children, we must stand on our own 2 feet. In 6 and 7, we reflected on our own character defects. so that when we spoke to these people, we could bring justice to the situation. Step 9, I love talking step 9, but we're on step 8. So, and this is made a list, right? All right. So steps 8 and 9 are concerned with personal relations. First, we take a look backward and try and discover where we had been at fault. Next, we made a vigorous attempt to repair the damage we have done. And third, having thus cleared away the debris of the past, we consider how, with our newfound knowledge of ourselves, we may develop the best possible relations with every human being we know. Woo! Keep it simple. All right. This is a very large order. It is a task we may perform with increasing skill, but never really finish. You may never finish your 9th step. No. Mm-mm. I've been sober coming up on 9 years now, and I'm just now getting to a point where I can start working on my financial amends. I'm starting to get there. Okay. It took some time, but I've always been willing. I've always been willing to take care of those things. Absolutely. Learning how to live in the greatest peace, partnership, and brotherhood with all men and women of whatever description is a moving and fascinating adventure. Every AA has found that he can make little headway in this new adventure of living until he first backtracks and really makes an accurate and unsparing survey of the human wreckage he has left in his wake. I love it. Yeah, no, Claire. Truth. It's true. Is your podcast this weekend? I think your podcast is this weekend, isn't it? Oh, that's not the wrong. Okay. Yeah, I think it's this weekend or next weekend. I don't know. That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Anyway, all right. To a degree, he has already done this by taking a moral inventory. But now the time has come when he ought to redouble his efforts to see how many people he has hurt and in what ways. This reopening of emotional wounds, sometimes old, some perhaps forgotten, or some still painfully festering, will at first look like a purposeless and pointless piece of surgery. But if a willing start is made, then the great advantage of doing this will so quickly reveal themselves that the pain will be lessened as one obstacle or another melts away. Yeah, it's true. And where are we starting with here again? We're starting, listen to all this willingness, right? Because willingness is indispensable. And gosh, by this time, we've gotten pretty good at willingness, right? Right. Bet you will. Right. You know, you got the right to say, right? The Supertramp song. I could never stop. It drives my wife crazy. All right. These obstacles, however, are very real. We're dealing with other people. And now we've come to the realization that I went through a lot of shit, but they did too. And gosh, I did not make it any better, did I? No, I made it worse. So what are we doing? We're bringing hope. We're bringing fucking hope, man. We carry it in our pocket. We're walking, talking miracles for the love of Jesus Christ here. Okay. The first and one of the most difficult has to do with forgiveness. The moment we ponder a twisted or broken relationship with another person, our emotions go on the defense. To escape looking at the wrongs we have done others, we resentfully focus on what the wrong he has done us. This is especially true if he has in fact behaved badly at all. Triumphantly, we seize upon his misbehavior and as the perfect excuse for minimizing or forgetting our own. All right, I'm going to utilize my family for this. My older brother, he was the hero. He was the hero, right? And he was just doing his job in a dysfunctional family. I'm going to tell you that. I did too. So the rest of my brothers and sisters. It's part of being in a dysfunctional family. Okay? But quite often he would be doing something wrong, but since the focus was on me, right? And I know you feel that because it's happened to you, that where you did all this good, but maybe they only saw the one thing that you did bad. That's what they're talking about here. Yes, we got to admit that we were doing it too. We gotta. Because if we don't, then we cannot clear away the wreckage of the past. It cannot happen. Because that anger and that resentment will be there. It takes two to fucking tango, man. Period. There's just not much more to that. Okay? So we cannot use excuses to minimize what we have done. This is my problem, not theirs. If they want to continue being angry with me, that is their problem. It is not mine. Okay? Now, we sit here and we say, okay, I'm going to forgive that person. Okay, but you really can't. If you can't forget it, if it can't be water under the bridge, I can forgive you to the point where I'm not angry at you anymore. That's what we're going for. All right. Right here, we need to fetch ourselves up sharply. We do. It doesn't make, because we got to remember, we're now the good examples, and we've got to be, not all my life, but for my teenage years, I was the bad kid. I was the person where parents said, don't hang out with that person. Good morning, Amber. It's good to see you. I was that bad kid. It was funny. I think of one guy, his parents just loathed me. They were like, don't you stay away from this boy. And they were right. They were correct. Okay. I should probably call his mom and dad. They'd love to hear from me. And then I got sober. All right. And I came back into my friend's life, and I was actually the best man at his wedding. And they loved me. They're like, Dion, great job. That they saw this change, and they're like, you're a good example. Right. That's the shift we can make. We have, I don't want to say that much power or control, but we do have that amount of influence. We alcoholics are influencers. We are promoters by nature. We can't help it. Okay. Even the introverted ones. So we got to make that shift. All right. Right here, we need to fetch ourselves up quick, sharply. What does that mean? It means I need to look at me. It doesn't make much sense when the real tosspot, me, calls the kettle black. See, there's that judgment. I don't get to judge. I don't get to provide consequences and things like this. But they need to know that because I hurt them, I did something about it. Okay? Let's remember that alcoholics are not the only ones bedeviled by sick emotions. Moreover, it is usually a fact that our behavior when drinking has aggravated the defects of others. We have repeatedly strained the patience of our best friends to a snapping point and have brought out the very worst in those who didn't think much of us to begin with. In many instances, we were really dealing with a fellow sufferers, people whose woes who have increased because of us, right? If we are about to ask forgiveness for ourselves, why shouldn't we start out by forgiving them one and all? This is a freeing thing. Yes, you don't have to go through each individual person and say, I forgive them. No, just forgive them all for the derelictions that they did to you, which was probably a revenge for something you did. Who knows? But to get into those particulars is a little dangerous, right? Now, what are they saying there? Brotherly love, sister love, humanly love, whatever we want to, peoplely love. Brother, that was all off. Peoplehood, that's what it would be. Peoplehood love. Hey, why not, try and include everybody? I try. When listing people we had harmed, most of us hit another solid obstacle. Just don't, I said this in the very beginning, but your grudge list from your 4-step is also your 8th list. Some people may need to be added. Some might be taken off. Who knows? But it's a good start. Absolutely. And then other things will happen. You'll see other people that you haven't talked to, or you see them, you're like, oh, fuck, I owe them amends. See? Look at that mind shift. Look at that. Because the forgiveness has happened. So we're going to them. We're looking for forgiveness, right? And that may not happen. It may not happen. Claire Joy says, Give up the power to punish and let their higher power have that job. That's right. And did God ever really punish you? No. But he did try and set us in a right direction to do the right thing, didn't he? That's the punishment. Those are the consequences. Yeah. And they can hurt because you know you're not doing the right thing. That's your intuition talking. Your stomach will hurt. People are like, I have stomach problems. Stop lying. And their stomach problems go away. Weird. Not really. Spiritual malady. When listening to people we have harmed, most of us hit another solid obstacle. We got a pretty severe shock when we realized that we were preparing to make a face-to-face admission of our wretched conduct to those we had hurt. It had been embarrassing enough when in confidence we admitted these things to God, to ourselves, and to another human being. But the prospect of actually visiting or even writing the people concerned now overwhelmed us, especially when we remembered in what poor favor we stood with most of them. There were cases, too, where we had damaged others who were still happily unaware of being hurt. Why, we cried, shouldn't bygones be bygones? Why do we have to think of these people at all? These were some of the ways in which fear conspired the pride to hinder our making a list of all the people we had harmed. It can be kind of a frustrating process, but thank God for sponsors. Thank God for good guides in AA. That'll say, hey, this is a situation where we make it harder than it needs to be. But if we've forgiven, right, see, what is it? Well, it's that reaction. We're reaction people, right? So it's that reaction that we're kind of talking about. Oh, you know what? No. That's not what it is. It's more this way. Did they do that? Yeah. But fuck, I don't blame them because I did this. I would have done, if you would have done the same thing, you can't really be mad at them. And this is where honesty, inward honesty, self-honesty is imperative. But you've been learning it in the first 7 steps. So, all right. Some of us, though, tripped over a very different snag. We clung to the claim that when drinking, we never hurt anybody but ourselves. It's the number one fallacy of an alcoholic. Yeah. Next weekend is the podcast. Awesome, Claire. That'd be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I love doing podcasts with my friends. I just love doing podcasts. I don't know what it is. I find them very healing, very informative. Anyway, okay, I'm off topic. And on this series, I got to make sure I stay. Our families didn't suffer because we always paid the bills and seldom drank at home. Our business associates didn't suffer because we were usually on the job. Our reputation hadn't suffered because we were certain few knew of our drinking. Those who did would sometimes assure us that, after all, a lively bender was only a good man's fault. What real harm, therefore, have we done? No more, surely, than we could easily mend with a few casual apologies. When an alcoholic finds out how badly they are hurting the people around them through worry and guilt and shame and blame and anger and resentment, suicidal attempts, all these things, and you didn't hurt anybody. I love it when I talk to a person and I'm like, you never heard. I'm like, usually it's their mom. I'm like, you never stole from your mom? Well, yeah. I'm like, there you go. Like, oh, and see how casual you were about that. See how casual you were. Yeah, no. Okay. Thinking that we can move to distant lands and we're not hurting anybody, that hurts them even worse because then they can't keep an eye on you. Now they have to wonder every day, is my son dead? Is my daughter dead? No, you hurt them. You hurt them deeply to their fucking soul. This is a family disease, not a single solitary disease. No, an alcoholic will make everyone around them suffer. Okay. This attitude, of course, is the end result of purposeful forgetting. It is an attitude which can only be changed by a deep and honest search of our motives and actions. Though in some cases we cannot make restitution at all, in some cases action ought to be deferred. We should nevertheless make an accurate and really exhaustive survey of our past life as it has affected other people. In many instances, we shall find that though the harm done others has not been great, the emotional harm we have done ourselves has, very deep, sometimes quite forgotten, damaging emotional conflicts persist below of consciousness. At the time of these occurrences, they may actually have given our emotional violent twists, which have since discolored our personalities and altered our lives for the worse. There's some people that were in my life that I made it so bad that I caused more, trauma. I can think of a few instances where I caused trauma in their life. I'm not going to go why. Okay. I don't need to do that. But I do need to stand ready at any given moment to admit that I did it. Okay. But these people, they do not want to hear from Dion. But if God gives me the chance to do it, yes, I will do it immediately. And I hope there are some people that I get to do that God allows me, that they get to a point where they're like, okay, Dion, I'm willing to talk to you. I hope. All right. While the purpose of making restitutions to others is paramount, it is equally necessary that we extricate from an examination of our personal relations every bit of information about ourselves and the fundamental difficulties that we can. Stay away from particulars. That's what they're saying. All right. You remember that time that I fucked you over bad? You remember, oh God, it was horrible. Okay, now they're reliving the past. I was taught to keep this very general. Hey, you know what? You probably know this. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, we're gonna get into the 9th step next. We're not gonna do that here. Sorry. All right. Or the 9th step just won't be very fun, So, but I gotta keep some information till then. All right. Since defective relations with other human beings have nearly always been the immediate cause of our woes, including our alcoholism, no field of investigation could yield more satisfying and valuable rewards than this one. Calm, thoughtful reflection upon personal relations can deepen our insight. We can go far beyond those things which were superficially wrong with us to see those flaws which were basic, flaws which sometimes were responsible for the whole pattern of our lives. Thoroughness, we found, will pay and pay handsomely. So, what they're saying is now that we don't have to feel the shame, and because forgiveness has happened, we can take a deeper look into these relations and discover more things. Maybe not just where we were wrong, but maybe where things were right too. And we can improve upon those things. Not everything in AA is done in red ink. That's a great way to put it, Claire, is causing harm is not who we are now. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I have a rule. Good morning, Jillian. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. All this is YouTube. My YouTube does better since I got cut off for a month for some silly reason, right? But I have a rule. I'm not allowed to hurt God's children. There we go. That's it. And if I do, I make an apology. I make an amends. And amends goes a lot more like this. Hey, you know what? Because it's no good for us. Sorry for a quick thing, but if I did something and I hurt them, let's say I interrupt somebody. I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. See, that's a sorry. Now, why am I saying sorry? Because it's going to happen again. Eventually, maybe not with them, but eventually I will cut somebody off again and not mean to. It's not intentional. But let's say I hurt somebody, right? Hey, you know what? That wasn't cool of me. That wasn't cool of me. I apologize that I hurt your feelings. And I'm going to, I know that doesn't make it better, but I recognize it, and I will do everything I can to make sure that I don't do that to you again. So, all right. We might next ask ourselves what we mean when we say that we have harmed other people. What kinds of harm do people do one another anyway? All right. They're going to go through them, but I'll give you a few of them. Okay. There's physical harm. There's mental harm. There's emotional harm, and there's spiritual harm. Okay? People are like mental and emotional. No, they are two different things. To define word harm in a practical way, we might call it the result of instincts in collision, which cause physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual damage to people. Told you. I didn't read ahead. It's just, yeah. You're like, are you? No, it's just, this is the order in which it happens all the time. So it can't be any other way. So, yeah, definitely. All right. If our tempers are consistently bad, we arouse anger in others. If we lie or cheat, we deprive others not only their worldly goods, but of emotional security and peace of mind. When we really issue them an invitation to become contemptuous and vengeful. If our sex conduct is selfish, we may excite jealousy, misery, and strong desire to retaliate in kind. Oh, yeah, that is all me. I did all that. Claire Joyce says we become sorry. We become sorry people, so don't say sorry. Use the character defect in the apology. Yeah, it's the recognition. Hey, that wasn't cool. It's the recognition. Yeah. Such gross misbehavior is not by any means a full catalog of the harms we do. Let us think of some of the subtler ones, which can sometimes be quite as damaging. Suppose in our family lives, we happen to be miserly, irresponsible, callous, or cold. Suppose we are irritable, critical, impatient, and humorless. Suppose we lavish attention upon one member of the family and neglect the others. What happens? Yeah, that's a balance. I got 4 kids, and I gotta lavish them all evenly. I got 4 cats. I gotta lavish them all evenly, or there was pushback. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Amber. I was wrong. There you go. You know what? That was wrong of me. Yeah. Great words. These are words we use. And I was wrong. Very clear. Keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. Do. Keeping it simple every fucking day. All right. I've been in my music a lot lately. It's like I'm listening to music. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. What happens? Oh, suppose we lavish. What happens when we try to dominate the whole family, either by a rule of iron or by constant outpouring of minute directions for just how their lives should be lived from hour to hour? What happens when we wallow in depression, self-pity oozing from every pore and inflict that upon those about us? Such a roster of harms done others, the kind that make daily living with us practicing alcoholics difficult and often unbearable, could be extended almost indefinitely. When we take such personality traits as these into shop, office, and the society of our fellows, they can do damage almost as extensive as that we have caused at home. It's a ripple effect. And we alcoholics cause very big ripples. We do everything that we can not to, but we do. Can't be helped, right? So The question is, what kind of ripple am I going to do today? Am I going to have a good ripple? When I go out and about, even though the cashier was rude with me, am I still going to be kind anyway? Yes, I am. You know, um, when child support called me the other night and I knew what she was. It was just I didn't appreciate that they weren't straightforward. But I had PTSD and my anxiety was out, so I don't really blame her. Now she was the messenger, and they cleared it up. My driver's license has been reinstated. Okay, that took like 24 hours, but they did it. She did it. She got right on top of it. Right. That's because I wasn't a dick to her. And I even told her, I said, hey, I appreciate your patience. This is giving me a lot of anxiety, and I'm flashing back to being in jail and all this other stuff. So I do not trust Jefferson County, but you have a little leeway with me, right? Talked to her yesterday, and it was a pleasant conversation. By the end, and I'm like, who's going to pay the $95 to get him reinstated? Because now, if I don't pay my child support, you're going to suspend my license, but I need my license. I'm like, so I only got $100 here. And what she did is she gave me 3 months leeway. I'll have to pay child support for 3 months. I'm going to tell you what went through my mind. Oh, cool. I don't have to give that fucking bitch more money. And then I thought, no, you are. You're going to pay your license this month. And then next month, you're going to pay your child support. Just because you got a little leeway doesn't mean it's okay to abuse it, Dion. That's what went through my head. Amber has something to say here, and it's a long one, so we got to read it. I had a spot C, one that's on my good side right now. Tell me, I see why you work better with men. You don't tippy-toe around shit. I'm not mean, but I'm sure not fucking frothy. Yeah. No, yeah, it isn't that she wasn't beating around, that she didn't have a choice. Anyway, it's hard to define, but yes. Yeah. I like that. I had a Spazzy, one that's on my good side right now. Oh, we Virgos in our shit list. We Virgos carry around a shit list. It's in our head. We don't mean to. We get better at it, right? But I carry one around. I know exactly who's on my shit list right now. Okay? There's only one person on my shit list, and I'm trying to get rid of it. It's my ex-wife, and I'm trying to get rid of it because it feels revengey. Saying things like, well, karma will take care of them, and things like God will take care of it. No, I can't even do that. So, but Amber, you always give me such a good laugh. All right. Having carefully surveyed the whole area of human relations and having decided exactly what personality traits in us injured and disturbed others, we can now commence to ransack memory for people to whom we have given offense. You use the resent. Yeah, nice. To put a finger on the near, yeah, well, that just proves that we have shit lists. It can't be helped. It's like an intrusive thought. It really is. We have one, but we don't really, it used to be that if you were on my shit list, you were my focus. It's not that way anymore, right? And then Amber says, I use the resentment prayer for my shit list. Yes. And that's exactly what we should do. Absolutely. See, this, for my people listening to the podcast, this is why I like going live, because I have a lot of friends that say it differently so that you can get it differently, because I may not be able to say it the right way for you. So that's one of the reasons why I've been doing this series this way, so that we can get other people's opinions on what this step is about. And we've gotten some great stuff, like just saying, I was wrong. Well, I told you go into a whole description on how I do it. See? Yeah. All right. To put a finger on the nearby and most deeply damaged one shouldn't be hard to do. Then, as year by year we walk back through our lives as far as memory will reach, we shall be bound to construct a long list of people who have, to some extent or another, been affected. We should, of course, ponder and weigh each instance carefully. We shall want to hold ourselves to the course of admitting the things we have done. Meanwhile, forgiving the wrongs done us, real or fancy. We should avoid extreme judgments, both of ourselves and of others. We must not exaggerate our defects or theirs. A quiet, objective view will be our steadfast aim. So, there are a couple things here. First of all, it says we avoid extreme judgments, and that includes ourselves. Okay? And one of the things that I tend to do is try and determine my worth. And I'll tell you something, I will fall short every single time. I have this finite mind. I have a finite mind. Okay? Must not exaggerate our defects. Okay? Quit bragging about the fact that you are insane, that you are crazy. Don't brag about that. Nobody appreciates it. I used to do that. Man, you're crazy. I know I've embraced my insanity. I'm happy to be living in a split level head. What I was telling them was stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to you. That's what I was saying. But a quiet, objective view is our steadfast aim. Steadfast means stick to it. Stick to it. Whenever our pencil falters, we can fortify and cheer ourselves by remembering what AA experience in this step has meant to others. It is the beginning of the end of isolation from our fellows and from God. You hear this from Claire Joyce, and then we will wrap up. Freedom from bondage prayer is a wonderful tool. My sponsor give me, it humbles me greatly. Absolutely. Yeah. Mean what you say what you mean, and don't say it mean. Here's another one. Actions speak louder than words. Our actions will have much more effect than any of our words really will. I mean, we were a bunch of people that cried wolf. I was. We were the little boy that cried wolf. I'm going to quit drinking. 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 That's the little boy that cried wolf, because after a while, people don't believe us anymore. Right? So, all right. This has been step 8. Step 8. We're getting through this. So I thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. It's always good to see my friends early in the morning, start my day right. Right? Right? Well, right. Oh, it's going to be stuck. All right. Let's go listen to this song. All right. Thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.